If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the tier list due for the Serie A team of the season. Guys, listen. We just did a bunch of like spam uploads for some of the players that we ended up checking out. In the future with team of the season, I'm not sure if I'll ever do that for like midfielders and defenders and stuff, because obviously when we do the tier list video, people just check that out anyways. But I feel like those videos, maybe over time, they'll grow anyway, so it's not necessarily that big of a deal. But guys, we're going to be doing a tier list for the Serie A team of the season. Guys, this one's going to be a really weird one. We're going to start something new where we do like S, A+, A, fodder, usable fodder, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to feel it out because, to be honest with you guys, with the Serie A team of the season, it's very hard for me to signify what I think is a difference between like an A+ and an S. I'm not gonna lie, like it's very, very hard, because in this tier list, I'm gonna mention right away that when it comes to S tier cards, don't compare them to the other tier list where I have like Messi and Mbappe. Those are like S star tier, okay? Like if I were to do a new tier list, like that's S star tier. But the S tier that we're gonna be doing for this player for this tier list right here, just be mindful of that, because a lot of these guys are pretty good, to be honest with you, but like they're not like S tier on the level of like Mbappe, obviously. Like that's just like a different breed. There is one, I would say, but you know. Okay, so guys, let's get started with the tier list video. Okay, so we're gonna get started here with Hernandez. Hernandez, I'm gonna add into the S tier right away, right? Hernandez was the card I was just talking about in regards to being like a meta-oriented card. I don't think that card should come as any surprise to anybody. People know that I think he's one of the best left backs in the game. I think pro players would use him on a consistent basis, to be honest. Like, I don't even watch pro FIFA, but I'm pretty sure they would use this card because he's amazing, right? He has all the right things. The card already has base card stats for pace at a 99 acceleration, 99 for sprint speed. You can provide him with a Sentinel chemistry style, and he's just really, really well formatted. A big thing that makes this card as amazing as he is obviously the unique body type, right? His unique body type in game, for him, it just works perfectly. I think he's absolutely incredible to use. Definitely going to be an S tier card. Okay, next up is going to be Barella. So Barella, I thought was absolutely fantastic. We're going to add him into the A+ category for now. Okay, just for now. We might add him up, maybe, depending on the types of players that I end up putting up there. But Barella, I personally enjoyed a lot, because the way that this card is formatted in game is with a hunter chemistry style. He's just a card that you can use in different ways, right? His acceleration, sprint speed is there. He's got the shooting capabilities on the card. It's a card that you could pretty much use in any of the midfield positions and just do a very, very solid job. With. He's just very, very good. On a hunter chemistry style, he has all the right stats. You just can't go wrong with this. Like, it's a very noticeable card in game when it comes to attacking and defensive capabilities. The only reason why I'm not putting him in the S tier category by default is because of height, right? Because height is always going to be a very important thing to work with when it comes to FIFA. No matter what, it's always very important to work with height. But you also get a trade-off. If you have more height, then obviously you wouldn't dribble as well as this card can, even though he's a short and lean minus. Short and lean minus works well for him because it's a combination of physical as well as agile. So as a midfielder, it works out great. It's a very solid card. Definitely enjoyed using him a lot. Bremer. Okay, so Bremer's card, I'm going to add in the A tier, A+ tier for now. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I might put him S tier. Okay, I might. He's not S tier on the level of Eder Militao. I think Eder Militao, you know, I'm going to compare like Brazilian center back to Brazilian center back, sure. But Eder Militao, I think, is a better center back. I've used Eder Militao a lot for my review account, and, you know, he's better. But guys, we're talking about a player that's like what, 2 million coins maybe? How much is Eder Militao nowadays? Let's see. Eder Militao, can't search because Footbin's drop down is completely broken, so I literally can't search him. I'm not joking. Like the drop down like doesn't work. Look, see. You have to wait for it to actually work. I had to wait like a couple minutes. It's being weird. Timing, you know, when we do the tier list and everything. But yeah. Anyways, I honestly wouldn't mind putting Bremer in the S tier because he was absolutely fantastic. Definitely enjoyed using him a lot. Definitely a card I would use in the future as well. I think he's very, very solid to use for sure. But yeah, Di Lorenzo is the next one. So Di Lorenzo, I'm honestly like, I'm not against putting him in the A+ tier, but A tier, it's like kind of like the safe zone. The reason why I feel like Di Lorenzo works so well for people's teams in general, and like I said, I'm not putting him in the A tier because I think he's like worse or anything like that. A tier and above are players that people are going to use 100%. This will be used in the Elite Division 100%. Guys, the reason why Di Lorenzo works so well in this game is because it's a really well formatted card for the fullback position, okay? He has acceleration and sprint speed, defensive stats, physical stats, but not only that, he's working with a 6-foot height, average body type at a medium work rate. Not a high medium, a medium. So a card like this on stay back while attacking performs really well in that fullback position because he adds a very good physical presence in the team, which I personally like a lot. So you know what? I don't mind adding him in the A+ tier. I actually like the card. I think he's really good. He's definitely minimum A tier at the very least, right? But I'll add him into the A+ tier for now. Who else would I add in the A+ tier, like for fullbacks? Like, to distinguish between an A and an A+, not that far off each other, to be honest with you guys, you know, like for a card like Di Lorenzo. Okay, so Kvaratskhelia is the next one. So for me, guys, let me tell you guys something. I think that Kvaratskhelia is a really good player, okay? I have to search him up here. There we go. I have to go on the main page to like search up the card and whatnot. I think that Kvaratskhelia is a fantastic card. The only thing that is throwing me off from putting him in the S tier, the only thing, right, is the fact that he is an average body type player with a 6-foot height, and you know, it's sometimes with the left stick can affect the card. But the card is really good, guys. I scored a lot of opportunities with him. I thought that utilizing the skill moves and the weak foot was a really huge thing to work with. I didn't really care that much about the medium work rates on the card. You know, but it's at the very least an A+ card. Even though he's a 5-star player, for some people, like the responsiveness, like honestly, like S tier, it gotta be like a Vinicius Jr. or something. He was very good. I still thought he was a very solid card. It was like I mentioned to you guys in like the Player of the Month video with it was the second one where I was like, if this card gets a Team of the Season, he's gonna be really cool to use, right? People that aren't going to like cards like Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, and that type of stuff, like don't like physical type players in general, right? But physical type players can perform really well. And that's a card that if people do end up packing as a red, they'll use in the top divisions and he'll do work for you. Because listen, being a 5-star player, massive deal to work with, okay? Because a lot of the times when you play players over on that left-hand side, they don't have a left foot. They don't have a 5-star weak foot. So that's a really huge variable to work with when it comes to him. So again, we might adjust the list depending on the types of players that I put in each position, okay? So next up we have is going to be Dybala's card. Another card I add into the A+ tier category. The only reason why he's not getting added into S tier is because of 5-star skills. That is it, okay? That is genuinely the only reason why he's not being added there. But here's the thing, man. Regardless of the fact that he doesn't have the 5-star skills and he just has the 4-star capability, the card is fantastic to work with. Very good card. You know, with Dybala, what's interesting about him is if you guys watch the review on a Hunter chemistry style, I was mentioning how because of the explosive accelerates, because of the higher acceleration on the card while working with that accelerate and the shooting stats being significantly higher too, you have to use this card in a way where you're just doing like really quick build-up plays because the high-low work rate's very noticeable in game. His unique body type, it doesn't feel like left stick wise like a Messi or a Bernardo Silva, but it's still very good. It's still a very good left stick to work with. But on a 5-star skill move, it would have been insane to work with, right? But obviously with the high-low work rates, you have consistent movements. The shooting comes off very nicely on the card because obviously he has all of the right traits that you need. So if anybody got lucky enough to pack this card as a red, like good for you because he's very good to use. Definitely enjoyed using him quite a bit. Cuadrado, I'm going to add into the A tier. I'm going to add him into the A tier because if I'm going to be speaking generally, I didn't mind using Barella over him in the midfield position, okay? Because Barella, you know, Barella's like very good. It's very solid card. But the comparison's also kind of dumb to make because he also doesn't have 5-star skill moves like Cuadrado does, right? The reason I'm adding Quadrado in the A tier is more to be safe, because I wouldn't mind adding him in the A+, but A tier, I'm okay with adding him there because Quadrado is a very versatile type player, right? He's a player that can pretty much play in any of the midfield positions and mostly in the side positions in the defensive positions, as well as a 3-back playing like the right mid area. The reason why the card is so nice is because with Quadrado in game, I'm looking for him because Footbin's drop down again, it doesn't work. So he's literally not here. Quadrado. Yeah, it doesn't work, man. Am I blind? Is he here and I just don't see him? Nope, definitely not. What about popular players? Vadatelia, Pedro Gonzalez. Please, where are you? I need to do the tier list. Brother, what? Am I blind? No chance, bro. Oh, there he is. Sorry. It's like I said, the drop down's not working, right? So, yeah, it was like I was mentioning, right? So in the review, I actually used the card in the midfield position. And I was using him on a finisher. I was using him on a gladiator. Finisher was because the guy that I bought it off of had a finisher on him. I was like, you know what? I don't really care because I want to see if he defends well enough even on a finisher, which, to be fair, he actually did a pretty decent job with, right? Definitely a card mainly to use as like a right center mid or right mid position for the most part, but still a very solid card, very cheap as well, 149k. Can't really go wrong with that for how the card generally performs in game. Di Maria, I've seen people saying they don't like this card. I don't know why, to be honest with you. I think Di Maria is a very good player. He's one of the few cards in this game that when it comes to his balance being low, I don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I give the card the Hunter chemistry style, he's great to work with. I like the way that he moves across the pitch attacking AI wise. I was using him, you know, after the review, I was using him in like the cam position, the lamb position, and like it didn't really matter. Like the card was committing really nicely into attacking plays. I genuinely enjoyed using him a lot. I don't really know where this thing comes from where people don't like him, to be honest, because it was the same thing with like the SBC card. Like the SBC card, you guys know, when I got that card, I was using him in tactics all the time because it's so nice. I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but left-footed players, I just like left-footed players a lot. I think they're absolutely incredible. I don't know what it is, dude. I just love working with them. Like Dybala, similar situation, right? Because he's left-footed, I just love working with that. Kvaratskhelia, similar situation too, bro. He has a 5-star weak foot. Do you know how many goals I score with his weak foot instead of his strong foot? So many goals, okay? But yeah, don't mind this list as it is right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm totally okay with it. Bremer's an S tier just because his price for what he offers in game is insane, but I might add him in the A+ tier because, yeah, I honestly don't mind adding him in the S tier. But it's like an in between. It's like here. You know what I'm saying? It's like there, because that price is like ridiculous for this card. Okay, next up is going to be Lobotka. So, guys, to be honest with you, man, you know this was an SBC card. Let me see if I can search for him here. Lobotka. Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to be able to search him here, so I have to actually search through the SBC and then go to Lobotka. There we go, Lobotka. Okay, so this was the card that they released, right? Here's the thing. We're going to be talking about this in a bit, right? I actually think this card's pretty decent. It's not bad, okay? There's a few things that kind of like stray away from the meta of the game, for sure. Obviously, with sprint speed, you're going to notice that being low on the card. With shooting, you're not going to get into a shooting position on a consistent basis because the main reason to use this card in your team is stay back while attacking cover center as a right center mid, right? To work with the medium high work rates, be a little bit more defensive oriented, or excuse me, in the CDM position. But here's the thing, guys. For me personally, I feel like height is very important to work with, right? And we'll be talking about the next player afterwards, which is why I'm going to put him in the tier a little bit higher. But this card's actually not bad. What I liked a lot about him was passes were really nice. Dribbling for a CDM was perfectly fine. The short and lean minus works well for him. To be fair, as an SPC for 37k, you couldn't go wrong with it. Like, to give you those links with the Napoli players, like, I genuinely didn't really mind it. Because if this card was like 37k on the market, it would be a W. It would be. Like, it would genuinely be a W. But obviously, there's another CDM that if you're actually going to be building like some Serie A teams, he's going to be a better option to work with. So for me personally, We'll add Lobotka in the A tier, but to be honest with you guys, I can see people using this card. I think he's actually like pretty solid to work with, okay? Lautaro Martinez is the next card here. So Lautaro Martinez is one of those types of cards where I'm going to be adding him into the A+ tier, but for me personally, just me personally, I'm just going to put him at the end of the A+ tier, okay? For me personally, I just didn't really mess with his unique body type that much, okay? He compensates well for other areas of the pitch for sure, but the unique body type is just, for me personally, I wasn't like a huge fan of it, okay? So I could see, but it's one of those types of cards where I can see a lot of people enjoying him. Like I 100% see him being used in the top divisions, 100%, especially for people working with like the Argentinian links, the Inter Milan links, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, A+ tier, don't mind adding him there, to be honest with you guys. Osimhen. So here's the thing about these types of cards with a card like Osimhen, okay? So when I did this card's review, he was being used as the physical-oriented striker. Now, don't get me wrong, if you don't like physical-oriented strikers by default, like, this is not a card for you. Like, when I say physical-oriented by default, there's a lot of people that don't like to use these cards in general. Don't use these cards, you know what I'm saying? But as one of the physical type strikers, he is an S tier physical type striker. He's good. He's really, really good. I enjoyed using him a lot. I thought that his explosiveness was really nice to work with. Like, there's so many different situations where, you know, I would just do like a croqueta and then I would just explode into space easily, like no problem whatsoever, right? And I think what's a massive W to work with when it comes to this card is obviously the 5-star weak foot as well. Now, I'm adding him into the S tier, guys, but I also wouldn't mind adding him into the A+ tier. The reason being for this is because at the end of the day, when it comes down to the meta of FIFA, right, it wasn't that bad to work with on him, but he still is a high and average plus body type player while being 6'1". So it's kind of a similar situation like this. I'm not going to compare the two because it's a little bit different, right? But if I were to do a tier list for, I think it was the community team of the season or the Premier League team of the season where Harry Kane's in it, right? Harry Kane, I would add into the A+ tier only because his dribbling is like a truck, okay? His dribbling is 100% like a truck, but that lengthy on the card with his finishing makes him a monster, okay? So I'm gonna add Osimhen into the A+ tier only because of the left stick dribbling on the high and average plus body type, okay? So similar situation to Kvaratskhelia, the left stick being thrown off, you know, a couple things here and there. I'm okay with this list so far, honestly. I'm like, for this, I'm okay with this. Yeah, next up we have is Rabiot. Okay, so Rabiot, I'm going to add into the A+ tier as well. Reason why I'm going to add Rabiot into the A+ tier is because by default, guys, okay, by default, having taller players in your team is a massive W to work with, okay? I was using this card in the center mid position, playing in a 4-1-2-2 formation. I was also using him as the left center defensive mid, playing on the not stay back while attacking, just the cover center instruction to kind of see how the card performs. If you guys watched my review for the card on the FUT birthday and you watched the team of the season version, the review is going to be very similar. You have to use this card, in my opinion, in a more defensive way, right? Because the way that this card performs in game is he has good defensive animations. His height works out really well for this card in game because he's not a lengthy, right? So keeping him as a more defensive oriented card is way more ideal. You know, I give him the shadow chemistry style to play him in that way specifically because his dribbling is more physical oriented as well. You know, he has agility and balance at an 86 with a 6'4" height, high and average plus body type. This is not a similar situation to a Jude Bellingham where he has a high and average plus body type, but his dribbling is absolutely nuts. It's not like that, right? But listen, man, if you wanted to use this card as a player that could actually potentially push forward, because of the fact that he's a left-footed player with a 5-star weak foot, that's a very huge variable to work with when it comes to like having a general good box-to-box player. Now, a few reasons why he's not going to be added into the S tier is mainly because of no change to work rates. Because for me in the past and now, I'm going to mention and say that I wish they gave him a work rate change because it would definitely have added to the card. But the thing is, guys, is that the medium work rate, you don't really care that much about it, to be honest with you. Like in game, it's still okay, but definitely would have noticed a difference if it was at least on a medium high. Medium high in this card would have been nuts, okay? or you use him as a high work rated card. That would be perfectly fine to work with too. Okay, so Rabiot, I would personally use him in a more defensive way. If you're playing like a 4-2-3-1, left center defensive mid, if you're playing 4-4-2, left center mid to stay back while attacking cover center, that type of deal, right? For the most part. But the card was pretty decent to use. I enjoyed him, you know, having the 5-star weak foot, huge plus to work with. I saw some people saying like, oh, if he had a work rate change, he'd be an S tier. S tier is more for players like Jude Bellingham, in my opinion, right? So giving him the shadow, boosting the pace and defense, definitely made a lot of sense for the card, but I'll add him into the A+ tier because he still had really good defensive animations. Like sometimes I would be attacking with him, lose possession of the ball, and then he would just do like a crazy reach, right? So he was pretty good to work with in regards to that type of stuff too. Okay, next up is Rafael Leão. Okay, so I can't search these cards, man. I can't search them, dude. Okay, Rafael Leão is the next card. So this card, I was mentioning in the review, he's like a higher A tier, lower S tier. I personally don't mind adding him into the S tier category because the way that this game generally plays out is it's a very slow and sluggish game, right? But I feel like Leão compensated really well for me. There was actually a situation where when I was doing his review, I actually switched him into the striker position instead of Mbappe when the gameplay felt, I say when the gameplay felt, as if it doesn't always feel this way, right? But when the gameplay felt slow and sluggish, I switched Mbappe to striker and then Leão to right forward. And then right away, I switched Leão back to striker and then Mbappe to right forward because the balance just worked out significantly better, okay? Leão in the game, for me personally, I don't rate him on an S tier on the level of someone like Mbappe or something like that, right? I just don't rate him on that type of level. Like Mbappe is like a different breed, right? That's what I was trying to mention to you guys about like the S tier category. But it's one of those types of situations where he's just very good to use. I like him a lot. It's hard because I gotta like A+ only because of body type being high and average, right? Only because of that. Hard to say though, man, because I honestly like adding them into the S tier. I wouldn't mind either. Wouldn't mind it either. An interesting situation for sure. We'll take a look at this afterwards. We'll take a look at this afterwards. Chris Smalling, S tier. S tier. S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. Guys, Smalling is so good. He's genuinely so good. Here's the thing about Smalling. So let me explain something to you guys, okay? So with Chris Smalling, right, I want you guys to take a look at this card. 83.5k. Oh my goodness, okay? Let me explain something to you guys about this card. So when you give him a shadow chemistry cell and you give him like a 91 acceleration, 99 for sprint speed, defensive stats, perfect, physical stats, basically close to perfect, I need to explain something very important. His acceleration, you will sometimes feel, right? You will sometimes feel. But you know what he overcompensates in like crazy? It's this height that he has at 6'4" with a high and average plus body type. Do you guys know how many times this card saved me in my team? Saved me because of that extra height that he has while working with fantastic defensive animations, because lo and behold, you know, it's Chris Smalling. If you guys remember back in the day, his rare gold card was a menace. This card, no different. On a team of the season, I'm telling you, this guy is a monster. And listen, one of the main reasons why Smalling and Bremer are even being added into the S tier category is because the price for those cards for what they offer in game is crazy. Because if those cards were SBCs, EA would have priced them more. 100%. Okay, 100% they would have priced them more. 100%. Okay. Yeah, like for me, I don't mind adding him into the S tier. Like I was even mentioning, like I was probably gonna add him there, to be honest. Bremer, it's like this, bro. I'm like this with him, okay? Because he's very good, but you know. Strefeza, listen, we're gonna be honest. The card is not. He doesn't look like he's terribly formatted. To be honest, he looks like he's okay. Do I think people are gonna use Strefeza a lot? No, I don't. I don't think people are gonna use the card a lot. Maybe they'll use them in like the Serie A Team of the Season Cup. I feel like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I feel like that's why they add these cards, because he actually could be pretty decent to work with, because obviously if you provide the card with a marksman chemistry style, it's almost like the type of card that EA gives you so that you can use them in like a tournament mode, like if there's a Serie A team in the season cup or something, for the most part. But is this card going to be used as fodder? Yes. Honestly, if I were to go to SBCs right now, I might actually find him as a fodder option here. Let's see. So we'll go to top form. We'll go cheapest. Sure. Let's just see what we get here. Ricardo Horta, no doubts about that. All right, we'll try two more. Ricardo Horta's the cheap one, huh? Okay. New. There he is, Strafeza, right? So kind of makes sense. Fodder usable. Definitely going to be added into that category for sure, for the most part. Okay, so next up. So this is where I want to... This right here is where I want to keep Bremer and Smalling at the top, and you guys are going to understand me, okay? For me, I think Tomori is an A or an A+. I'm going to be honest. I think he's an A+. I will be doing these in order from players that I like a lot too, you know. I'm going to put Tomori in the A+, right? But he's a combination of these two. I'm not going to lie to you guys, because it makes me want to do this, right? It makes me want to do this, and then it makes me want to do this, and then it makes me want to do that. Because for me personally, okay, I think that Chris Smalling and Bremer are better than him, in my opinion. I personally think that they are, okay? Especially since you can get both of them for a much cheaper price combined over the Tomori. I think that's nuts. But obviously AC Milan links is a big link to work with because of the meta options you have. The next card I'm gonna be talking about, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it makes me want to do something like this, but it's a little bit harsh as well because Tomori also gives you like the really good links to work with. Whether or not I would consider him an A+ tier card, I don't mind putting him there. But like I said, it's like a combination of the two over here, you know, because he has weird moments where I would like, if I were to go into a Serie A like matchmaking type of like thing, I would go for Bremer and Smalling over him. You know what I'm saying? Like for me personally, but with Tomori, A+ is still fine. I still think the card is really good. We're doing comparisons, guys, because sometimes I do comparisons. People are like, he thinks the card's bad. No. Comparisons in the sense of like Bremer and Smalling, I think they're just better center backs. So I'm going to put them in that general vicinity as well. Tonali. I think Tonali's amazing. I really do. I think Tonali is absolutely incredible. I think he's... Guys, he's the card that I always talked about. Always. There was never a single time period where I didn't talk about Tonali because they formatted this card really nicely for what you generally need in your team, right? So let's see here. Can I search for Tonali? Nope. Gotta search for the Serie A team of the season because I don't have the drop down. And then we gotta go to Tonali. There he is. Okay, 87k for this card. 87k for this card. Guys, so many of these A+ tiers I would put into the S tier. Like S tier is like very like, you know what I mean? Like S tier is like, you know? Tonali, I'm not against putting him there, man. Like this is why I like the A+ tier, because the A+ tier, guys, all of the cards in the A+ tier can be somewhat argued into the S tier, even if like a low tier S tier, you know what I'm saying? I think Tonali is really good. I genuinely think he's absolutely fantastic. Why am I not adding him into the S tier? Honestly, like when I compare like CDMs, I don't know, man. I'm putting him in the A+ tier, but I honestly would not mind putting him higher. I think he's really good. You know, on a Shadow Chemistry style, 95 acceleration, 99 for sprint speed, defensive stats massively increased. Like you don't, like what else do you want? You know what I'm saying? For me to be like super nitpicky, it would be extra height, right? With more jumping stats, because jumping is actually really important, because if someone does a goal kick, you want to be able to win that ball in the air, which he doesn't win, right? So again, it's one of those types of cards. Safe mode, I don't mind adding into the A+ category because there are certain things missing on the card for him to be like really, really good. But I mean, he's fantastic. I definitely don't want to add him here. Definitely like around here. Dybala, Di Maria, I liked both of them a lot. Di Lorenzo, Lorenzo, Rabiot here, Rabiot here. Yeah, something like this, something like that. Oh, because 5-star skills way too important to work with. I'm telling you, like, guys, 5-star skills over weak foot. I'm telling you, bro. 5-star skills over weak foot, unless you're like these two, or mostly Dybala, because Dybala's right-footed, or not right-footed, but he's 4-star. Di Maria actually has a 5-star skills. I like Di Maria, man. I don't know where people got this thing where he's not good, because he's great. Put that over there. Guys, at the end of the day, to each their own opinion, right? Yeah, we'll leave it like this. I don't mind this A+ category for sure, for the most part. Lukaku, I'm also gonna be adding into the A tier. A tier over Lautaro for sure. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I liked him over Lautaro. I'm gonna tell you why, okay? I feel like they actually did a pretty decent job of formatting Lukaku in a certain way where he works with his physical capabilities a little bit better. I actually like that they didn't make him a lengthy player because his dribbling felt a little bit better in game. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, as a physical type striker, his dribbling is still going to feel a specific way. I'm trying to search for his card if you can't tell, because I have to search for them. Okay. So Lukaku's card on an engine chemistry style, right? It's just formatted really nicely because in game, sure, as a physical type striker, sometimes you'll notice the dribbling not necessarily being the best. But you know what he really compensates in? It's the 5-star weak foot with the high-low work rate, right? The 5-star weak foot with the high-low work rate, I loved so much, man. I genuinely did. And I was using him in my 4-1-2-2 that you guys are going to be seeing probably like next like 24 hours maybe for the most part, right? And the same things, you know, just working with that stay central or just that getting behind instructions, right? You know what's funny is that in this 4-1-2-2 tactic I'm going to show you guys, he's actually on the target man instruction, and that's so perfect for him because he acts like a target man that will push forward anyways because of the high-low work rates. It just, that instruction works so well for him, you know? And for me personally, I liked him the most on an engine. Our Trigger Merchants, which is 99.9% of the community, will probably use him on a Hawk because they want to be able to run with the card and then just score in that way. But for me, general build-up play is like very important. So I think giving him an engine to kind of make his dribbling really nice is definitely very important. So now that I'm looking at this list, I'm not against this, man, because a lot of the I'm not against this because like top tier S tier strikers, it's like Mbappe and those types of guys. You know what I'm saying? It really is. That's why I added the A+ and the A, because a lot of those cards in the League One team of the season, I had Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Marquinhos. Like those were the obvious S tiers. Everything after that, like Kimpembe and lower, I would have put in the A+ tier because they're good, but they're not like S tier level. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put Bremer in the A+ too. I think Smalling. I don't think Tomori is on Bremer's level. He's not. He's just. I just don't think he is. Right. I think Bremer is a way better center back personally. He's just formatted better. I just don't mind putting him there. The price is a W as well. It's insane to not do that. Leao, you do have to work with the physical, but he's great though. I really enjoyed him too. Yeah. I'm not against the list like this, honestly. Like, I'm looking at these players. Di Lorenzo A+. I could put him in the A tier too. Wouldn't mind that as well. So, you know, I'm looking at this team of the season and like, it's pretty good. Pretty good for the most part. There's a lot of like really solid cards. There's like fodder. Like in the League One, I had Andre at least. Like Andre, no one's gonna use that card. Strefeza, like maybe a little bit fodder usable for sure. Yeah, now that I'm looking at this, like S tier category attackers, guys, it has to be like crazy saucy players, man. You know, like crazy saucy in like certain ways. It's tough to say though, man, because like this S tier wouldn't be the same as a League One S tier. Like if I had Mbappe and stuff in this team, like a lot of these guys would be like in different positions, you know? But I'm like really thinking about this right now. Okay, so I'll just provide you with explanations for all of them, and then we'll just basically go from there, okay? So S tier category for Hernandez, Chris Smalling, and Bremer. I think Chris Smalling is genuinely amazing. One of the best center backs I've used. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Bremer, I don't think he's on the level of like an Eder Militao, but I think he's really good. And I want to put him in the S tier just because I think he's better than Tomori. I don't think it's fair to put Tomori as an A. I think he's like an in-between of the two, right? But I do feel like Bremer is better than him, which is what makes me want to put him up there, right? Barella, it's honestly just height, because if I put him in the S tier category, I genuinely wouldn't mind. Okay, I actually would not mind whatsoever in the S tier category. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Similar situation to Dybala. The only reason why he's not up there is because of 5-star skill moves. Di Maria is not S tier because even though he's a 5-star, 4-star player, the balance is low. You don't care about it, but it's still low, right? So it'd been nice to be able to put him up there for the most part. Rafael Leão, fantastic player, but it's just dribbling because he's more physical oriented with the high and average, so you just have to compensate for that a little bit, but still a fantastic player. Kvaratskhelia, 5-star, absolutely fantastic, but obviously physical type with the dribbling. You have to work with the left stick. Osimhen, similar situation to the left stick. One of the best physical type strikers in the game, hands down. Sandro Tonali, honestly wouldn't mind adding him into the S tier, but there are certain things that are missing on the card as well. Rabiot, it's a work rate situation. I would use him in a more defensive oriented way, but he's still fantastic. Di Lorenzo, well formatted card, average body type, has the right work rates, all that good stuff. Lukaku, I feel like they did a really good job with. Doesn't need to be a lengthy player to perform as well as he does. I enjoyed using him a lot. Lautaro Martinez being in the A+ tier at the bottom here with Tomori, don't mind that whatsoever personally. But like Lautaro, you can argue and put a little bit higher as well. Tomori is going to be a little bit on the lower. So this is not completely in order, but like I'm okay with this. Cuadrado, it could be a little bit harsh to put him in the A tier, but like I don't mind. It's like a combination of the two, you know, combination of the two. I do like Barella more because I like that extra added defensive presence because it's short and lean minus. It adds to physical, which I like, but then it depends on what you want, because maybe you want a more agile player as well, which obviously wouldn't be a bad situation. Yeah. I just think Bremer's like price is like such a W, but he's not as good as like Eder Militao. I'm gonna put him like here. I'm gonna put put him here. Yeah, I like Di Maria. I don't know where people get this thing that they don't like him. I think he's great. I'm gonna put him here because at the end of the day, he's 5-star makes a huge difference in the top divisions. I wouldn't mind putting Barella in the S tier, honestly. Him here, yeah. Rafael Leão, Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia, Rafael Leão, kind of a similar boat. So, Tonali, I like, yeah. Osimhen. Yeah, I'm okay with that too. Rabiot, put it like that. Di Lorenzo, Martinez, Tomori. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. Because at the end of the day, I'm providing you guys with an explanation. Obviously, people are gonna go at the end of the video and be like, "This is his tier list. Seriously, he's gonna put no attackers in the S tier." Like, I know for a fact that's what's gonna happen. But S tier attackers, guys, I'm telling you, it's got to be like even if I had Bernardo Silva, who I absolutely adore, he would be an A+, because like he's still missing certain things to be an S tier. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't like. I'm looking at the A+ tier category. I don't think people would use that in their pro teams. Smalling. The only problem with Smalling is links. I don't know if pros would use the links on that card because he would have to I don't think pros use Serie A that much. Because now that I'm looking at the rest of the team, like I don't think it's gonna be a real thing. Okay, guys, just have to add 2 more cards. They put them in the fodder area. I have to go judge them right away. Okay, so for me personally, first one, Milinkovic-Savic. Honestly, I don't mind adding him into the lower A+ tier, like lower to the mid area, mainly because of links. Links are a little bit hard to work with when it comes to him, and it's also going to be like the pace a little bit. But guys, in this game, man, I always tell you guys, like, having height is very important. If you have height, like, you're chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're honestly chilling. So I don't mind adding him into the A+ tier. I think as an SBC, the card was quite decent. It's just the links in the future. Like, I don't know, people were saying like if you have links to certain players and you're good, but you know, excuse me. Lorian, I'm gonna add to fodder usable. I was using him for a little bit. I wasn't too crazy about him. It was just one of those types of cards that I had on my team because of the sake of having him in that right-sided area. I wasn't like too crazy about him personally. But yeah, I'm okay with this list, man. A lot of these players here can be argued into the S tier. I think Chris Smalling and Hernandez are absolutely incredible personally. Like, I gotta put them in there because they're really, really good players. Barella, Dybala, Bremer, Leao, Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen being one of the best physical type strikers. These guys can be added to the top. And then the rest of them, I don't mind keeping in the A+. But these guys can be argued 100%. Like, these guys can definitely be argued into the S tier. Yeah. Some of the A tiers can be argued into the A+. Like, I wouldn't mind putting them there too, but I'm okay with putting them down here too. It's one of those types of situations. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm okay with this list. I know that some people are gonna look and see no attackers in the S tier. I know that when you guys see like these posts on Instagram and stuff, people feel an obligation to put these cards in the S tier category. The reason why this list is different to the League One list that we did is because we've added an A+ to an A. So a lot of the players like Flashback Kimpembe, Renato Sanchez, Nuno Mendes would have been added into the A+, right? Then the players that would have been the S tiers would have been Mbappe, Messi, Marquinhos, and who I forgot, Neymar, right? Those four would have been the S tier cards for sure. So A+, guys, is still very good. Like, if you're in the A+, like you're still sick. It's just certain things missing here and there. Like, acceleration on Smalling is low, but I'm telling you, his height and body type and stuff compensates really well with those defensive animations. He saved me so many times. Bremer, I'm not gonna lie, I would not mind putting him in the S tier. I'm gonna be super serious with you. I would not mind putting him there. I almost want to, but I'm gonna leave Chris Smalling up there. I'm gonna leave him up there. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.